guys, it's Paula back to start a new project. I finished the 2 Snowman albums, and now I'm going to start working on maybe 3 fall albums. I have 3 books picked out to do that, so I want to take you along with me on tearing this book apart. Now, all 3 of them are going to have a 1.5-inch spine. It's going to be 2 signatures. I'm not making them giant books because fall is 2 months. You know, essentially, you know, your October and November things that you do and might want to record. So, this spine is 7.5 inches long. I went ahead and cut them because of time. I just used my cutter, and it's 1 inch wide and 7.5 inches long on the red book. Now, I did use my cutter, but I use certain blades when I do chipboard. I put a CB on here, and I switch out the blades so that it doesn't. Believe me, when I first started doing these junk journals, I rent more blades, and so I've gotten smart, and I swap them out. And I just cut my chipboard with the one that says CB on it. So, that's this spine. So what we're going to do today is so you would need to cut out a heavy piece of chipboard to 7.5 by 1.5. Okay. This book measures the same, 7.5 tall, and I believe it's 5. We don't really need to worry about the width of it yet. We'll do that whenever we start doing the fabric or whatever. So, it's 5 inches. I guess I've written it in the book at some point. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I use a box knife. And I use my little blade and a pair of scissors. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to separate the spine from the book. And depending on the age of the book as to how, see, like this one has quite a bit of space down in here. So you can tell that it's got signatures rather than, it's actually got 4 signatures rather than being glued like they do them now. So this is an older book. I don't even know if I looked to see how old it was. The pages are yellow. I can tell you that. Miracle on 34th Street, which I didn't realize that that's what this was. Might have to see if it has any pictures in it and keep it for other things I do. But I want to see what it says in here. Well, it doesn't tell me the copyright. That's weird. No pictures. This is perfect for my granddaughter. I need to let her read this before I do anything with it. There is absolutely no copyright in this book. That is strange. Wait a minute. Here it is. 1947. So that's not a young book. Okay, now let's get started. I'm going to try to stay in this white square. Scream at me if I don't. It's sometimes when you get busy, you get kind of distracted. So what I'm going to do with this book, I'm not going to show you the fabric yet. I've got 2 different fall fabrics, and I'm just cutting down, and I'm trying to not cut into the spine if I don't have to. Although it really doesn't matter because I'm going to replace this spine because this is a tiny one. Doesn't have, you know, it's not very big at all. It's like a 1/2 inch. And we want it to be 1 inch larger. So, see how easy that was? It just separated without any problems. Now, you're going to feel that it has chipboard or whatever board they make books out of. I'm not even sure. You'd think I'd know. but it's just a heavy board. And you can feel the edge of it here. So you don't want to cut through the edge. You just want to cut under and take out that spine as straight as you can. If you need to use a ruler, you can. But it's really not going to matter all that much. Now we're going to do the other side, and because I'm right-handed, I have to flip it around. I usually try to kind of bend it back and get it to lay very flat. And I'm going to go straight down. If you want to save the spine, you can stand these up and turn the book away from the spine. And it won't tear your spine up unless your spine's already pretty much dilapidated, which this one was. That's probably one of the easiest ones I've cut apart. Let me get this mess off the, although we're going to have more. It just feels really dirty. Okay, so we didn't need this. I'm going to move it to the side so I don't stab myself with it. I use a box knife because I'm just not very strong. And once upon a time I was, but now see how jagged this is? I'm going to trim all this jagged portion off. And make it as straight as I can. And if you're concerned about it not being perfect, you could sand it a little bit, but you're honestly not going to really see it, but you do want all the stuff sticking out off. And we're going to recover this paper right here so I can trim really close. Main thing is that I get, see, sometimes I will take a file. This is a real technical instrument. I will just take a fingernail file and just kind of, because, yes, I'm very much a perfectionist. I can't help it. But you don't have to do that. But see the difference it made? See how much straighter it is? Now, it doesn't matter that the red's peeling off of here. I'm just hoping this doesn't show through on my fabric. Because if it does, I may have to gesso this first. And, so, okay, this side is done. This is the front cover. No, that's the back cover. Okay, so now we're gonna get the spine off of here. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. Make sure we don't cut through the main part of the book. Listen, this thing has got to go. There we go. I hope you guys can see me. I'm trying my very best to stay over that, or inside that white square. Just want to get all the debris left over. And I'm not an expert by no means. I've only been doing junk journals for 6 months, but I've really, you know, I've caught on. And, you know, the hardest thing for me is when I start binding more than 2 or 3 signatures. And that's because I don't have a lot of strength in my hands. So, you know, this one's going to be 2. And hopefully that'll be all right. But if I tell you, if you don't get your measurements on your spine, you know, just right, you know, it can cause you a lot of grief. And I've done it before, and that book is sitting on my shelf right now to be operated on. It was one of my first books. But I couldn't give it up. I just decided I'll go back to it someday, and I'll just make me a book out of it. And so that's what I plan on doing if I ever have 5 minutes, which doesn't look like I am anytime soon. So I'm sanding this. Now, I don't always sand this, the edge of the book, but this one is just a little jagged, so it just depends on how it looks. Okay. looks like, I'm going to have to go like this a little bit. It's wanting to pull away. See how it's doing? I'm going to have to fix that. That's not a big deal. That can be fixed. All right, so I've got a big mess here, but I'm going to scoot it to the side for now. And I want to show you how it will look whenever we put them onto fabric. I'm going to do one more book with you. We're going to take our spine. And I line it up on this board because it really helps. And you want between an 1/8 inch and a 1/4 of an inch. You know, I line my spine up straight. And then I want to line this up straight. You're going to want a gap there so that you can bend it and have some room. See, some people will take, you know, like the width of this and put it down in there like this when they're doing one side, and they say that, whoops, I was going to show you how much it was. I've seen videos where people have done that and pull it out gently, and you can see that it's an 1/8. You know, I just kind of eyeball it, but this is how it's going to look right here. Okay, now, and then whenever we have that space there, we'll be able to bend it up and down. Okay, this is the red book. That's what we're going to call it. And I'm going to keep it all together. And I'm going to get this big pile of trash out of our way real fast so we can move on. I am going to have to scrub my table down. That book right there was pretty much a mess. I'm going to do the green book next. This one also has a 1 1/2 inch spine. And it's 7 1/4 long. So it's a little bit shorter. Not much. Okay, now this book, you can see here, this was Los Angeles Public Library. That's where this came from. So it's traveled. But you can see in here where your spine, if you could put your finger in there like that, your spine has sewn signatures right, or pretty much, most of them do have. This one has a little, let me look. No, it's got stitched. If you look, see the stitching? I don't know if you could see that or not, but the signatures have been stitched into this book. And this book is, copyright is 1926. But evidently it was checked out of the library in 1967. But you can see right here. No, that's not the copyright. Let me look again. That is, yeah, that is the copyright. Didn't realize it was that old. I always try to find, no, let me look. First edition, oh, are you ready for this? First edition was 1871. The new edition, that first edition was 3 volumes in 1871. The new edition is 1 volume, and the reprints was 1889 to 1892. The new edition and reprints after that was 1896 to 1900. The new edition, the latest new edition was 1903. And then it was reprinted in 1912, 1920, and 1926. So 1926 is when this book was printed. It's just really interesting to, somebody's phone number right here. I bet it's an old number. Okay, see, this book is, oh my goodness, it's already coming apart. That should not be all that difficult. I'm going to hold it up and show you. See how this, let me make sure I'm in camera. If you hold it with this back, and you can see you have this opening here. Hold it, take your box knife, be very careful. And you go straight down. If you look, all that did was cut. It didn't cut through the spine. So if I have never done, see there's no cuts on this spine at all. I have never done a binding, that's not seen. I'm going to have to take some classes or watch some videos. I'm going to do it again on this side. So if you go straight, it will not take you into the binding. So there we go. See, it's a complete, and actually this book is in really good condition. I think I might keep this one together, and I might, no, this spine is smaller than I want it to be. This spine's only an inch, but it would have been a perfect book to learn how to do a spine, do your binding under the spine, the actual spine. This is really, I mean, the first time I saw it, it looked a little intimidating, but it's really simple. I think the little golden books are harder to take apart than just a regular book. That's just me. And that's because they staple their books together, or their binding is stapled, and those staples are in there. And sometimes you can't save, you can't restitch it into a book when it's super thin around the binding. So I have to reinforce it with something and then stitch it in the book. So it takes a little more time. The little golden books are really, they're fun. Just because they're so colorful. I've got some really cool ones I'm going to be doing, but I want to get through my holiday stuff first. And but I've had people request watching, from the beginning. So I'm trying to do that. I'm not going to be doing every single thing on camera. I'm going to tell you, this is the first time I've done the type of book I'm going to do. I'm going to cover this whole thing in fabric. I've never made one like that, so we may flop together. That's why I've cut up 3 books and have 2 different fabrics, because I want to make sure, it's done right. Now, and I just really wanted to do some fall. It's my very favorite season, and I know a lot of you feel the same way. First of all, we're ready for it to be cooler, and sometimes you just get ready for winter, and at least I do. So there we go. Clean up all that. I got to find the edge of it there. You'll know because that you're on the edge, because you won't be able to cut through it if you're not. So, plus it has an indentation that you can see right there. I'm just going to trim up all the ragged edges. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm been busy, and I've had company, and so they left to go visit some other family right now for a couple days, and then they're coming back. So yeah, I'm trying to get my videos done and get as much done on this book as I can. My sister and I scrapbook together, and sometimes she'll make cards, but she pretty much scrapbooks. I conned her into scrapbooking because I didn't know anybody that knew how to scrapbook many years ago. And so I talked her into doing it with me, and she loves it, but she only really does it with me and sometimes with her daughter, who also scrapbooks. But It's so funny. And she does a good job. I told her she could do it. She just listened to her little sister. But anyway, so we have lots of fun doing that. I'm going to take my, I did it on one. I might as well do it on the others. Just get the raggedness off of it. The raggy edges. I did do a video. I don't know. It's not up yet, but it will be tonight. This morning on the snowman books. So you'll have that to look forward to. I hope you like them. I worked really hard on them. That side's done. I've only done this sanding a couple times before today, but when I did it on that first one, I really liked the results. So I just thought we'd sand them both. All right. Now, I'm going to cover all but one of these with the fabric and see how it goes. If I can do it without struggling, I'll do it on video. But man, if I can't, there's a lot of videos out there. I know Gail just did one on her Christmas album. I'll try to remember to link her down below and you can go watch it. She did a beautiful album. I'm sure most of you watch Gail anyway. Okay, so I don't even remember which was front or back. It doesn't really matter, just so you know. Here we have this one. And we have our 1.5 inch spine. And then we'll lay it down on the fabric like this. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed today's video. The next video hopefully will be me covering one of these books. And it's going to be a struggle for the first one because it's something new. But I think I can pull it off. We'll see. All right, guys, I'll talk with you later. If you could give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it. If you aren't a subscriber, we'd love to have you join us on my channel. And because we just do a little bit of everything. Well, not everything, but whatever has to do with junk journaling. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.